was. And in the top rafter, there was a python. Absolutely loved Brisbane. There was everything there you needed. It's really similar to probably Indian um, and French, I guess, if you were to blend the two together.
Hello, Emma.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for agreeing joining me. How are you?
Yes, really good, thank you. Even better now that the weather is lovely here at the moment in sunny Honey on Stanton, Norfolk, so it is good.
It's not bad at all. It's a bit windy, but it's not. It is definitely warm. Absolutely, absolutely agree. So, take me back. What made you choose Mauritius or Australia for a month-long trip?
So, my friend actually moved to Australia. She went out there for a summer, did a bit of work, absolutely fell in love with the place, and she went out there permanently, met the man of her dreams, fell in love, got married, and had a baby. So we got invited to go out and celebrate her wedding. So we ended up thinking it's so far, it's not somewhere that was on our bucket list originally to go. And if we're going to travel 24 hours, let's go and spend a decent amount of time there and really look at where we wanted to go, see all the iconic areas like Sydney and Brisbane. And then we had the grand idea of driving from the moment we landed all the way up to Taree and then Brisbane as well. So 10 hours of driving after a 24-hour long flight probably wasn't the wisest move, but it was good.
Yeah. Any kind of, I don't know, any kind of situation you've been in which is like shocking or interesting, or like you said, oh my God, did we really do that? Is there anything like that you experience?
Yeah, gosh. So there's so much in Australia to go and see and do. And one thing that we didn't do was actually book our accommodation until we were out there because we weren't quite certain on how long we were going to spend in places. And so many people tell you, oh, you must go and stop here or you must go and visit this. So we booked our first lot when we arrived and then we left everything open. So it's a bit of a risky move because you don't know exactly where you're going and what's going to be busy and things. And I think Australia always comes with that stigma that there's always going to be snakes and spiders and creepy crawlies. And I was quite amazed how much like America it was. It had a real US vibe to it, especially the areas we went in on that Gold Coast. But yeah, it was, I'd definitely say research places first and maybe book 1 or 2 nights rather than stumbling across them. But I think actually for us that worked really well, just going and visiting, and we had the car so we were able to travel around. It was just amazing.
Was there any kind of apps you can use so you can book your accommodation just while you're driving, or any kind of websites that you can use for that?
Yeah, we relied heavily on Airbnb. I think now because it's worldwide, it just seemed to be like our go-to app for things. We could find out instantly. We could message like the hosts and the people. So we found that probably more proactive for us to do. So Airbnb was probably our biggest thing. And at least you know they're all certified and they're okay-ish. So often the hosts have all been vetted, so you know that the properties are okay. Rather than just kind of going on social media and hoping and looking out for spaces. So we found that to be better. And then for the end part of the holiday, we did hotel it, and we used probably, I can't remember quite, I think we went on like a comparison site and just looked at hotels in Sydney with a pool and just see what popped up there.
Okay. Um, Snakes and spiders. Did you actually see some of them? Like the huntsman one, the
I
big one? Because
did.
I'm petrified. I must admit I'm totally petrified.
I did, not in the wild though. Although that's a lie. I think we did see one snake in the wild. We actually ended up staying in a place called Taree, and we stayed in a motel there. That was like one of the first stops we had, and they had their summer festival. I don't know what it was called exactly, but they had like tractor rides and tree carving, and there was a guy there called Steve the Snake Man, and we went over and he had like hundreds of snakes. They were all in their little areas, but he got a few out and he was explaining to people about which snakes are dangerous and which ones you can get bitten by and what are the most common ones you'll see, which was, it was good as an educational thing because I literally thought every brown snake in Australia is going to kill you, so don't go near them. when actually, yeah, he went through where you would find them and where not to walk and where to walk. And if you said if you're going up in like the forest, always make sure you're wearing trainers and don't have sandals on and things. So that was good. Spiders, I didn't see any, not a single one, not even a tiny little spider. No.
Wow.
Although I did
Okay.
shake
Okay.
my shoes out most days just to make sure there wasn't any. But funny story, we were at the wedding and she got married on this amazing like estate. It had like it was on rolling hills, had a lake at the bottom, there was a marquee, it was really lovely. And the bar area was in a converted barn. It was quite small, like a small barn area where the bar was. And in the top rafter there was a python and it was massive. This thing was like that thick. It was huge, and no one got drinks for like 3 hours. Nobody
The
would go in the
wedding,
bar.
but this was part of the wedding, let's say, decoration, or you just stayed there and didn't want to move?
No, it was literally just hungry and slept up there. But yeah, the staff were trying to coax it out, but it just wasn't
Oh,
budging. And eventually, it did just come down and slither away. But yeah, oh,
okay. Okay. Do you know, Australia is on my bucket list. I really, really want to visit it. However, my husband, he will not join me at all. He said this is the only place he's absolutely happy for me to go by myself because he believes that Australia is designed to kill people. So if I want to go to Australia, I'll be pretty much by myself because he's not going to even let me go in with the kids. For now, I mean, I'm trying to convince him. So with podcasts like that and talks like that, I'll manage to convince him to actually agree to go there.
my goodness. It is just such an amazing place, and I'm so glad we spent so much time out there. And to be honest with you, a month wasn't enough either. Um, we only managed to do probably about, I think, 4 towns and two big cities like Brisbane and Sydney. And by the time we got all the way up to Brisbane, it was nearly time to come back down again. So it was, yeah, it just wasn't enough to see everything we wanted to see. But we tried to fit as much in as we could. We did the iconic Australia Zoo, where Steve Irwin Zoo. So that was really good to go and see that. And then when we were in Brisbane, we did a lot of stuff in the mountains where they filmed I'm a Celebrity as well. So we went up to, yeah, the mountains and did vineyard tours and things. But it was such a magical place. And I'm so glad we did spend time. And I think Airbnb and it really, we weren't in a hotel. We had to go and find where the best restaurants were, where all the locals go and eat because we didn't have that, I say, a luxury of a hotel where everything was catered for. We had to go out and find it, and actually that opened up so much more for us, like where the best food restaurants are, where the best beaches are, where the best sunset is, and I'm so glad we did that.
In fairness, when for the first time, because I'm Bulgarian, as you know, when for the first time I took my husband to Bulgaria, this is what exactly we did. Our daughter was 6 months old, and we were just, I wanted to show him as much as I can from the country. So we were just traveling, and we'll sit for a lunchtime, let's say, and I'll go through my phone and I'll just book and I'll roughly calculate how long it's going to take us to get somewhere, and then I'll start looking for that area. And that was really the best trip and the best holiday I've ever had because we didn't know exactly where we're going and what we're doing, but it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Um, in regards traveling from UK to Australia,
Yeah, so we treated ourselves on the flight out there and back because we knew it was so long and we had such a big drive that we upgraded ourselves, which just meant that we had more options for food and meal choices. And we did do a night flight. Regrettably, my husband was really upset because I just slept for the first 10 hours because I knew I had so much to do the other day. So he was like, "You missed all the meals, you missed the dinner, you missed the champagne." And I was like, "Oh, sorry." I was just happy I got a bed, so that was good. Yeah, I think long haul flights, you just have to mentally prepare yourself that it is going to be such a long time. And I was like, right, I know I've got, I think it was 16 or 17 hours. And then we land in Singapore. So I knew that, okay, then after then it's only another 8 hours and then we're there, which sounds like such a long time, but it goes so quick. So I knew that we could, yeah, juggle it all. But yeah, you just have to prepare yourself.
it is because I'm complaining sometimes for 3, 4 hours. I'm worse than a child, honestly. Sometimes if I don't sleep, I'm literally, are we, are we there? Wait, oh, I can't say it. Are we there yet? I'm literally like that, like a child. I'm really bad with, with long hauls. But if I want to visit some nice places, I must do it anyway. So there's no win-win, I guess. And what about the
Yeah.
culture there? The culture and the food you could. When I was in Thailand, for example, I was focused on eating only local food. I just wanted to taste everything, to smell it. I just wanted to, to touch everything local. Was that with you as well in Australia?
Yeah, surprisingly, Australia isn't renowned for its cuisine. As we were like, what do you eat? What's the local stuff? And they're like, barbecue. Everything's barbecue. um,
Okay.
yeah, and then I think the Australian culture is very laid back and really super chilled. And we met a couple of, so at the wedding, there was a few locals who were there who were all working there. And at the time, it was in the same sector I was in. So I was working in schools and a lot of them were in schools. And we were just comparing like what they do. And they're like, oh, if this weather's really nice on a school day, we'll take all the kids to the beach and they'll go surfing and it's really fun. Or we'll go and do this. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, you could not do that in the UK. You could not just be like, right, stop, we're going to go and do this. So things were at a slower pace, but it was nice. So
Sure.
yeah, it was just really lovely just to see everything so relaxed and so chilled, and yeah, it was really nice. Obviously, everyone was super friendly and really helpful. But yeah, as far as food goes, there's not really a local dish where I'm like, oh, that's great. There's obviously really nice places to eat, but yeah, the Gold Coast is renowned for its sunny, like big beaches and surfing, and a lot of people go there up to the Great Barrier Reef as well. So they do all the snorkeling. But it was amazing to see how protective they are of all of their animals and species. So most places where we went to, they were really focused on keeping sure like the wildlife and the sea were protected and you couldn't only swim in certain areas. And the same when you were driving, there were certain areas where they lowered the speed limits just to allocate for the koalas crossing the roads. And it was just really nice. That was probably one of the nicest things because they didn't want to put all their animals in captivity. Like some countries, like Mauritius, for example, all of their native tortoises are all in like farms or zoos and in
Yeah,
captivity.
that's really nice they're looking for them. I mean, we are, let's say, how to say, we are responsible for the wildlife, so we need to protect it, not just leave it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If someone wants to go now to Australia or considering going to Australia, is there any place you can suggest, or is there anything you can suggest they can do, or just any kind of recommendation for people who are thinking, should they go, should they not go?
My favourite place was Brisbane. I absolutely loved Brisbane. There was everything there you needed. Um, we stayed, so there's a river that kind of goes through Brisbane, and we were on the other side of the river. But the ferries are like taxis, so you get your ferry. Literally, it just shoots across the river in 10 minutes, and then you hop off, and then you're in town. But there were so many green spaces and nice parks, and there would be like, we booked into a couple of like yoga sessions, and there were just yoga sessions in the park. They had all these open barbecues, so you could just take a family picnic and go and have a barbecue. All that open gardens. There was like a little faux beach area and water, like big water parks, and they were all free. It was all in just the green spaces. And then you had the bonus of like the town. So you had like all your restaurants, all your clothes shops, all your hustle and bustle, as it were, all in that area. And then you had the mountains literally just behind there. And that's all known for their wine. So you could do vineyard tours. And so I found Brisbane was just like there was so much to do. It was
Okay.
just amazing.
I'll include it in my bucket list then. Thank you. What about Mauritius? Which
Yeah,
was
so Mauritius again, such a long flight. I said not as long as Australia, so it's about 10 hours, 9, 10 hours, I think Mauritius flight is. So it was quite a way. And again, so my family, it's actually my dad is Mauritian. So he moved over here when he was 4 years old and maybe went back a couple of times. For me, we'd never gone as a family back to Mauritius. So when I met my husband, he was like, let's go and meet everybody and see everyone, because everyone comes over here to England. We don't really ever go to Mauritius. So we went out and spent a large proportion of time out there. I think just just shy of a month. And again, we did a similar thing. We booked a hotel for the first night on the historic like Sugar Beach, which is like where everyone goes to their honeymoons. It's the picture perfect golden sands and that. And then we did Airbnbs because it was important for me to really see the culture and embed in how things have changed and what things are like, and especially when we were seeing family and visiting people, it was really important to just integrate into that community and see things that probably the tourists don't see.
Sure. Because you said you're Mauritian. Do you keep any kind of traditions if you have there? For example, I'm Bulgarian. My husband is English, but I'm trying to keep some of the Bulgarian traditions in the family so my kids can kind of grow up with the traditions if they want to, of course.
Yeah, sadly, no, there isn't anything like a tradition that he has ever really done with us or that we do as a family. But like many cultures, food is such a huge thing. And I'm really fortunate then when David met our family, my family, he loved like the Mauritian cuisine and the Mauritian food. And actually, he cooks. We have a Mauritian meal twice a week. He will cook authentic Mauritian food. So when we were out there, there's the main city called Port Louis. It's they've got this huge, I can't describe, like warehouses, and they're just, you have like the meat one, which is all like your, obviously your meats, then your vegetable ones and your spices. And when we were out there, we just bought so many spices, so much stuff that you can cook with. And we've still got it here. I was like over 3 years ago, and we're still still going through it now. We literally packed our suitcases full of spices. I don't know if you can do that or not, but we did. We brought it all back. But yeah, we found all the best food we had in Mauritius, and the most authentic food, which I remember my grandma cooking, was all street food. So on the streets, we would drive up to they've got one of the biggest like mosques there, and there was a huge street food vendor, and the queue was across the car park. So I was like, that's got to be a good one because everyone's queuing up, all the locals are queuing up, that has to be good. So we stopped, and it was the best food we've had. And I kept saying to my husband, I was like, make sure you eat this and try that because you need to make all this when we go home. So it was for our children, it's nice for them to have such a varied diet as well, and we eat so much Mauritian food here. It's nice.
Yeah, so how is it different in between the food in the UK and the food in Mauritius?
Yeah, so it's probably
I
very,
haven't tried
very
Mauritius food,
similar.
I must admit.
Oh, it's really similar to probably Indian, um, and French, I guess, if you were to blend the two together. So lots of like rice and lentils and pulses, lots of tomato-based food as well. So the native language in Mauritian is Creole. So that's like a pidgin hybrid version of French as well. And obviously, people can go and research their own history and how Mauritius has got to where it is now. But yeah, the food has been influenced by different countries and cultures over the last probably 100 years of moving in and bringing their own traditions. But it's still very much, yeah, your rice, your lentils, definitely spices, some nice hot sauces, your samosas. There's a flatbread that they have, and
Don't
it's called
mind me.
like a
I love
puri.
Indian
It's
food.
really, yeah, yeah, it's honestly so good. Even like I can taste the difference between different biryanis now. Like you can kind of, I'm like, okay, that's from
Yeah.
there and that's from there. So I can, yeah. So Mauritian ones just have their own tweaks to it, but it's, yeah, so good. So if you like hot, spicy food, it's definitely up your alley.
I certainly like hot spicy food because I do myself a harissa. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not the full recipe. No, I don't really have the time to follow the recipe. I did have the time only once, and since then it's just a memory. I'm putting all the things together. But last time I didn't put tomato puree, which made the harissa extremely spicy. I don't have problems. I mean, a little jar will go for a week without any problem. If there is anything on the table, hot food, even not hot food, either soup or bread or whatever it is, even salad, I'm putting harissa in it. So I love spicy food.
Yeah. I remember when I was in Bulgaria, my favorite food was, is it pataknik? The
Yeah,
potatoes.
exactly. Sweet
I'm probably not
potatoes,
saying it
yes.
right, like patatnik, yeah. So whenever we would go skiing, I was like, that's what we want. So it's just like, yeah, all the potatoes and, oh, so good.
Is there any place in Mauritius that you want to certainly go exactly there again? There's left some kind of memory or some kind of experience that is really close to your heart?
Yeah, so Rose Hill and in Flick on Flack was where my dad grew up. And we went past like his family home, and it's just exactly how I pictured Mauritius to be. So it was, so my nan was really big, even though they lived in Birmingham, bear in mind, she always cooked outside. So they never cooked inside the kitchen. They did occasionally when it was cold, but mainly everything was all cooked outside under like their carport in their garage, and that's just how it was. So when we went there to like near their old houses, and especially where my aunt and uncle are still there, they have their obviously their family home, but outside is all their outdoor kitchens because no one cooks inside. You have like your kitchen inside your home, which is like more of your, I don't know, functional thing. I guess your fridge, freezer, and that's it. It's not, but you people don't cook in it. I think because of all the smells and the spices and just how and things are quite heavily fried. Everyone just does it outside, so it just for me all yeah, that image will always sit with me because that's exactly when my dad was describing how he grew up, seeing that area, and it was just not overdeveloped. It was very basic, but it was just picture perfect because so many. I think when you go there as a tourist on holiday, especially if you just do the honeymoon and you're 2 weeks in a hotel, you don't see any of that, and it's quite sad. Even they say from the airport, the coaches drive a certain route. There's a whole road built purely for tourists, so they didn't see any of the towns. They just see the hotels, the beach, and that yeah, that road is only ever used from airport to hotels, and it's so crazy. Yeah, just to
It
keep
is.
it
But I
separate.
mean, I guess it's based on people wishes and what they want to do. But I personally, I'm a person I would like to discover and to explore. So if I can be as much local as I can, this is going to be my dream holiday. It's not so much the luxury, or probably let's say a combining way of holiday, starting with 2 weeks just exploring and traveling, and then probably 2 3 days just sit down and relax before go back to reality.
There is so much to do on the island, and you asked about somewhere else that I'd go to. We did a boat trip out to the waterfalls, and there's like obviously little sub islands just around. And one of the islands we went on, you can have a meal there, but there's nothing. It's literally that island and a kitchen, and that's it. There's not even a toilet. You know, we had to go in the sea. It was that kind of place. But it was amazing. And again, there was a group of us that went, and we just had the best food ever. But it was so secluded, and the island is so untouched. So you just go there just to have your food and get back on your boat and go. And it was really special to see that. And it was nice that they haven't done anything differently and done anything to. It's part of the excursions they do. So I think some of the excursions that they run in the hotels are to the waterfall, and then they go either to that island or there's another one that's slightly bigger, which has a little bit more where you can. The sea is crystal blue, so a lot of people go there because for snorkeling, and it's like a bath, and it's in a little cove, and it's quite nice. So it's yeah, definitely there's a lot of boats. So I think that was definitely a touristy spot. But
Okay.
yeah,
Oh, well, sounds really good. Really, really good.
it's funny when you said about where would you stay and things, and we're starting to plan our next trip next year to Mauritius, and I'm going to speak to you about it because I was like, right, there's so many components and areas we want to go to, and there's now my mum and dad are coming, and we're like, right, we want to do a bit of a hotel to kickstart it because that's just nice, and there's a pool, and for the kids it's really easy. Then we want certain Airbnbs, and then we want like a hotel for the last bit. And I think having someone who can kind of orchestrate that and bring it all together and get the flights is just so much better than us trying to fumble.
By all means,
So it's
you can come back to me.
yeah. So I will hand you over the family the family packet. You can go, right, I'll organise this trip for you. Yeah.
Um, I'm up for them.
I think if anyone wants to travel
You
and
feeling
do that
okay?
those types of trips with kids, it's like 100% use an agent like yourself because it's little things like making sure there's pushchairs when you arrive at landing because so many airports now do hiring like strollers and hire car seats, and it's like just knowing all those, like it's just helpful to, like you said, pulling it all together and going, right, day one you're this, day two you're that, and sorting out car hires and things. It's just, yeah, having that pressure taken off and having an agent going, I know it'll be a lot for you, but you've done it, then that would just be, yeah, so amazing.
Good. I'm happy to help. Let's see if there is something. What is a what what is a travel lesson you think everyone should hear at least once?
A travel
It doesn't
lesson.
matter. It's not related so much to Australia or Mauritius. It's more like, let's say, a closing questions or something that, yeah, just your opinion.
I think so. For me, it's researching the area, not just the air place, but the climate is so important because people always, and I've spoken to so many young people that think summers abroad are like summers here, and they are two very, very different things. So it's making sure that you are well equipped and you pack appropriately and never overpack. If you've packed your suitcase, unpack it and repack it because you will need less. The
Good
amount of
advice.
high heel shoes I take with me and never wear them.
I'll try this advice next time when I'm traveling because I've never done it. I'm just packing, and all the time I'm ending up half of the suitcase is just untouched. You just stay there because I put everything in bags, everything separated. Some of the bags haven't been even open, and all the time I'm thinking, well, next time I'm going to be absolutely careful what I'm putting because there's no really point, and especially when you want to bring something from the destination you've been, like eh, either buy some clothes or some souvenir or something, and then you start thinking, I'm not going to have um enough weight for this. But no, that's really good because when you unpack and then pack again, you can actually double think and double check what you've put there, which that's really should. That's really good
Yeah.
advice.
And you can always wash clothes in a sink, and there's wash machines, which I'm
True.
always told.
Absolutely true. Okay, are you ready for the second question?
Go on then.
Okay. Where's next on your bucket list?
I really, really want to go to either Oman or Abu Dhabi. That's like our big thing this year, if not next year, fingers crossed. But I would love to visit those two places. I would love to just do some more of the Arab Emirates. I think that's
Yeah.
all up and coming. There's so much out there at the moment that the hotels look out of this world. And yeah, I think Arab Emirates is on the list.
Okay. And finally, are we ever really there yet?
No.
No, I don't agree as well. We're never, we're never there yet.
No, I think traveling opens up your whole mind to a whole nother perspective. And I think it doesn't matter where you go, whether it's still here in the UK, whether it's literally just across the pond into Europe, everywhere has an impact on your life. And I think it always makes you reassess things. Like Australia taught me to slow down, and actually things operate at a slower pace, and that's okay. And Mauritius taught me that you don't need, basics do. We don't need all this flash stuff. It's people are so happy with just, yeah. I think having experiencing cultures really make you reevaluate yourself, and also maybe where even for business, like what's important and how you want to be. I think it's, yeah. So
Yes,
you're never really there yet. No one's
no,
there.
I
No
don't
one's
agree as
arrived.
well. No, I don't agree as well. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Emma. I really appreciate it.